There are moments in life when heaven whispers to the human heart, quietly but unmistakably. You've been praying, waiting, and wondering when that long-awaited promise would finally come to pass. You've carried hope through tears, through silence, through seasons that seemed unending. But now heaven is stirring. The angels are moving. The spiritual clock has struck a divine hour. The wait is over. A quick divine marriage is about to begin. My friend, when God steps into your waiting season, He doesn't move slowly. He moves suddenly. What once took years can happen in a single moment when His hand touches it. The same God who turned water into wine at Cana can turn loneliness into divine union, despair into destiny, and delay into sudden fulfillment. So today, open your heart, because what you've been praying for is about to appear before your very eyes. There comes a point when heaven looks upon a weary soul and whispers, "It's time." The season of waiting, with all its tears and quiet prayers, was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you. God never wastes a delay. Every moment of silence carried purpose, every unanswered prayer carried training, and every disappointment carried redirection. You see, when heaven declares that the waiting season has ended, it means something divine has been completed in the unseen realm. The angels have finished their assignment of preparation. What once seemed still was actually moving behind the curtain of time. Many people mistake God's silence for absence, but silence is often the sound of divine construction. While you waited, heaven was aligning things you could not see. The person chosen for you had to go through their own refining, their own wilderness, their own shaping. You both had to learn faith, obedience, and surrender. True love doesn't bloom from impatience. It blossoms from trust. The waiting season was your classroom. God was teaching you to let go of timelines and hold on to His promises. He was purifying your motives, removing attachments that didn't belong, and maturing your heart for something sacred. The angels have now begun to move. They are declaring that the appointed time has come. You will begin to sense it in your spirit before you see it in your life. There will be a divine stirring inside you, a peace that tells you something is shifting. Heaven's timing does not operate according to the clock on your wall, but according to the rhythm of destiny. And when that divine hour strikes, everything that once stood still begins to move in supernatural synchronization. What seemed like years of waiting can turn into days of breakthrough, because when God says now, no force on earth can delay it. During the waiting, you may have questioned whether God forgot you. You may have compared yourself to others who received their promises sooner. But heaven has never been in competition with time. God was working with precision, not haste. There were lessons that could only be learned in solitude, prayers that could only be birthed in longing, and strength that could only be developed through perseverance. The angels who once stood watch during your tears are now rejoicing, for the waiting has reached its divine conclusion. Heaven has always known the exact day when your story would turn, just as the Israelites wandered until the Lord said, "Go." Just as Abraham waited for the son of promise until the appointed year, so your story is aligned with a heavenly calendar. Nothing was delayed by accident. The waiting season served as a divine filter to separate what was temporary from what was eternal. The one who is coming into your life will not be just anyone, They are heaven's chosen vessel, timed perfectly for your destiny. When the waiting season ends, it ends suddenly. You might wake up one morning to an opportunity that changes everything. You might cross paths with someone who feels like home. You might sense an unexplainable peace that your heart has finally arrived where it belongs. That's how God moves. He hides His surprises in moments of stillness and reveals them when faith has reached its full maturity. The angels have been guarding this promise, keeping it safe until you were ready to receive it. Heaven's declaration that the waiting season has ended means the divine script has reached a new chapter. Your endurance has been recorded. Your faith has been honored. What felt like delay was actually God ensuring that nothing, no distraction, no wrong connection, no premature move could sabotage what He prepared. Now, the light of fulfillment breaks through the clouds of delay. The angels are not whispering maybe, they are proclaiming certainly. The waiting has not been wasted. The process has been perfected. And as heaven opens its next chapter over your life, you will see that the end of waiting is not the end of faith. It is the beginning of the promise fulfilled. When God decides to move, He does not move according to human timelines. What once felt like years of delay can suddenly shift into days of divine fulfillment. That's the power of divine acceleration. It's when heaven breathes on your situation and what seemed stagnant begins to flow again. The angels have stepped into motion, carrying instructions from the throne of God to bring speed to what has long been slow. Every prayer, every tear, every moment of endurance has built momentum in the spiritual realm, and now that momentum is about to manifest in your life. You may not see how it's going to happen, but acceleration doesn't depend on your understanding. It depends on God's command. When He speaks, creation responds. In the natural world, growth takes time, but in the realm of the Spirit, God can turn a seed into a harvest overnight. One divine moment can do what 10 years of effort could not accomplish. The angels are aligning divine appointments, stirring hearts, and preparing circumstances that will intersect at the perfect moment. What seemed far away will suddenly stand before you. The doors that once resisted you will open effortlessly. It will feel as though everything has changed overnight, but in truth, God has been working behind the scenes for far longer than you knew. Acceleration is not randomness. It is the release of long hidden preparation. There are moments in Scripture where God acted swiftly. When Joseph went from prisoner to prince in a single day, when Ruth went from a field worker to a bride in one night, when Mary went from obscurity to divine purpose through a heavenly visitation. In each of these moments, years of quiet faith were rewarded by one divine encounter. That is how acceleration works. It honors those who have remained steadfast through seasons of silence. The angels are now moving in that same authority, releasing divine speed into your situation. They are pushing aside the delays that once hindered you, ushering you into a new season of fulfillment that cannot be stopped by human limitation. Divine acceleration often comes when faith and timing meet. You've been believing, hoping, and trusting God even when you couldn't see results. That faith has become the doorway through which acceleration now enters. God will make up for lost time. The years that were stolen by pain, waiting, or confusion will be redeemed in such a way that you'll look back and realize nothing was truly lost. Every delay will make sense when you see how fast God restores and multiplies what you thought was gone. The angels are not just delivering a promise, they are redeeming the time. This sudden move of God will not cause confusion, but confirmation. You will feel the peace of heaven in every step, even as things happen faster than expected. The same Spirit that sustained you during the waiting will now empower you for the shift. You may find doors opening in places you never expected, people reaching out who were once distant, or opportunities that match the very prayers you prayed in secret. That is not coincidence. That is divine orchestration. The Lord is saying, I am making it happen quickly, for the time has come. Divine acceleration is not meant to rush you, meant to reveal how perfectly timed God's plan truly is. When heaven's clock strikes your appointed hour, everything begins to align without strain or struggle. The angels are guiding your steps, ensuring you are in the right place at the right time to meet the right person. The pieces that once seemed scattered will now fit together with divine precision. This acceleration will bring restoration, alignment, and purpose all at once. So, when you feel the shift, don't resist it. Don't question whether it's too soon or too good to be true. The same God who watched over you during the waiting is the one now accelerating you into fulfillment. What once crawled will now run. What once felt impossible will now flow effortlessly. Heaven is moving at divine speed, and the angels are proclaiming that this is your time of supernatural acceleration, where promises manifest and destinies converge in perfect harmony with the will of God. The person God has chosen for you has not been sitting idle while you waited. They too have been walking through their own journey of transformation, often hidden from your view. Heaven has been shaping both of you simultaneously, though in different ways and seasons. Just as gold must pass through the fire before it shines, your future spouse has been refined by trials, molded by challenges, and strengthened through endurance. Every disappointment they faced, every lesson they learned, was preparing them to love, honor, and understand you in a way that no one else could. They are not just a partner, they are a divine counterpart, handpicked and polished by the Master himself for the purpose of fulfilling destiny alongside you. God never sends a person prematurely. He waits until the heart is ready to handle his blessing. While you were being refined in faith, they were being matured in character. Perhaps they were learning forgiveness, patience, or humility. Maybe they had to walk through seasons of brokenness so they could recognize true love when they see it. The angels have been guiding them just as they guided you through lessons, detours, and divine interventions that brought them closer to the person they were created to be. Every step they took was leading them toward you, even if neither of you realized it. Heaven was orchestrating parallel stories that will soon converge into one. When God joins two people together for his purpose, he doesn't simply unite emotions. He aligns missions. Your future